I have already seen you at the toppest, at the highest, and
Topics.
toppest, highest, whatever.
Get the fuck up.
Wake up, grab a brush and put a lid on makeup.
I need to know what she's doing. I probably can't afford it, but
I was on that flight with Madison.
I get so triggered when I see people wearing flip-flops.
Stacy's mom, she's got it
She does.
going on.
I think it'd be very militarian, like, is that a word?
Look at all these little signs from the universe, though,
I
Madison.
know.
Hello.
If people don't like it, they at least won't forget it.
Welcome to Unshut, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't.
Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late.
You're totally good. How are you?
I'm good. I've been having technical difficulties with my laptop and I had to delete everything the other day from it. I forgot that Zoom had to reinstall and I was like, "Oh my God." Anyway, so this is my first new Zoom call.
Amazing. Look at that. Technology is always with us, but always against us. I always say that.
I swear it is, and I'm like, I should be better at it, but somehow I'm not. But whatever. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking. I'm just glad we were able to kind of figure out both of our schedules and get
Oh,
today going. I'm super pumped about it.
me too. I'm so excited. I was watching a few that Kelsey sent me earlier. I was watching the David Cook one, of course. But
Very cool. Have you had the chance to meet him in person yet or no?
briefly, I think I picked up Kelsey from the airport and I met David. I was driving by and I was like, "Hey guys." So yeah, briefly, but not I need to sit down and grab coffee with him or something, but he seems awesome.
I would say that would count. I would have just honked my horn and be like, get in.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. It was good. It was good. He seems really cool.
Amazing. Well, thank you again so much for making the time and trying to find flexibility with your schedule. I know you just wrapped up some shows and stuff, and so I'm super pumped to deep dive into a lot of shit we're going to talk about, Madison, all
Me
right?
too. I'm so stoked. Also, is the lighting okay? Do you need me to move or is this fine?
It's a little bit dark. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let
It's
me try to
totally
move.
up to you, though.
I just don't want to be look like a dark cloud. It's I want to grab my water and then I'm actually officially ready.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, this chaos is just who I am. But okay, cool.
Listen, it's a package deal, all right? You either take all of you or you don't get to get any of you, you
That's what
know?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But cool. Okay.
Hell yeah. Well, talking about the shows that you just recently wrapped up with, Eliza Harrison Smith, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
How did you two connect and meet? Let's start there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Eliza didn't fully know this story, but I talked about it. She played my EP release show, which was in December, and then I told her more on tour about it. But I she popped up on my TikTok on my For You page probably a year ago, and I really liked the song that she had done, and I was looking for producers to work on certain things. So I followed her producer on Instagram. His name's Tyler Sky, and then I put out "Could We Still Have Sex?" and he messaged me and was like, "Hey, I love the guitars in this. This is sick." And I was like, "Oh my God, I actually really would love to work with you next." And so we ended up hanging out. He came to a show and we became friends. And he was like, "I want to introduce you to all the pop girls that I work with." And he ended up setting up a write with me and Eliza a while later. He didn't even know that's how I found him or anything. And then we wrote together and I just am a big fan of hers. So now I've kind of been like, "Eliza, let's I don't know, let's tour." I had another artist who I was gonna tour with, and they had to unfortunately just drop. So yeah, so then Eliza stepped up and it was so fun. I'm really glad how it turned out was perfect, I think. So divine intervention or something.
Well, I feel like that's just proof that when something's just meant to be and something's just
Mhm.
meant to kind of like collide, it just happens, you know?
Sure, no, definitely. And it's been fun. I feel on the tour, I really got to know her as a person and not just an artist. And that was really, really fun and nice. So, yeah.
While you guys were on tour together, did the endorphins kind of kick in and you guys talked about possibly collaborating in the future? Did that come up at all?
Yeah, it actually did because we were singing every night together we would sing Country Roads. I thought like it would be so cute if we covered that song. So we like practiced a couple times before we left and then we kept singing it on the road. So I was like, maybe we should record this, like record a cover. So we're talking about doing that this summer. We think it'd be really fun. So yeah, you might see a collaboration.
Well, we'll definitely keep our fingers crossed. I think that would be so fun, especially after hearing how the alignment sort of just kind of happened. It's just
Yeah.
beautiful manifestation on its own. I think that's so awesome.
Definitely. No, I would be honored to sing on anything with Eliza. She's so talented. So,
How soon after wrapping up did you start to brainstorm the possibility of another tour in the future? Have you had time to kind of take it all in and figure out like what you would like to do next and how to go about it? Or are you kind of like, let's take one step at a time?
oh no, I'm like always trying to take the steps like ahead of time. I mean, I was thinking about another tour before this tour even started. Like, that was something I really wanted to focus on this year. It's still like at the forefront of my mind. So, I'm from Texas. So, I think doing like a Texas tour would be fun. There's like so many cities in that state alone. It's so fucking hot in the summer that I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it this summer. But yeah, and I would love to do like the Pacific Northwest because we did, a lot of the East Coast this time. But yeah, I'm down for whatever. We talked about going up to Chicago and doing some places on the way up there and then coming back, which would be really easy. So hopefully we can get stuff scheduled soon. Yeah, I'm just going on a trip in June for a couple weeks, so I'll be out of commission for a bit.
Well, listen, here's the thing, all right? Like, I'm rooting for more shows in the summer for you because I think that's just a really good way to like connect with the audience, get your music out there, you know. But I will say this, if you do a tour in Texas, don't fucking do it until the fall because I like to hide in this heat, all right?
I know. I'm from Corpus Christi, so it is really hot. I'm going home next week and I'm like dreading it a little. I'm always really mean to my parents when I go because I'm like, how do you guys live here? This is so warm and people shouldn't live in this. But
I am definitely that like dodge the heat person. I didn't used to always be that way, but you know, ever since I've gotten a little older, I'm a little more comfortable in my skin. I love
yeah.
fashion more now. And so now I'm like,
Um,
listen, don't invite me anywhere if it's over 75 degrees. I want to go
I
out
don't.
when it's cozy, when I can get some gaudy outfits going. Other
Yeah,
than
like when
that,
I'm gonna
no.
look cute, I know. I grew up like flip-flops. Now I like when I get so triggered when I see people wearing flip-flops now. I'm like, ooh, like you don't need to wear those, but I understand it's super hot. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
I feel the same as you.
Well, I also did some snooping myself, obviously, and I loved your post tour, I guess, like the snippets of your tour that you were on, where you posted like the collage on
Yeah.
Instagram of all these
Mhm.
photos. Was that magazine with Kim K on Playboy? Was that real?
It was real. It was
Stop.
$100. I didn't buy it. I
That is
know.
so crazy.
I know. It was so iconic though. I like went and picked it up and I was looking at it. And then I saw the $100 price tag and I was like, I won't be getting this, but some lucky person in New York City will. It was real. I can't believe that. But yeah, I think it's a really old Playboy, probably like 10 years old or something.
I was
Yeah.
scrolling through and I'm like, yeah, that is so iconic. But $100? I'm like, I'll maybe pay $20 for Playboy, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but I mean, it is like, I think it's probably worth that much, but I was like, I can't. I was like, that'll be more than I make at this show. So I'm not going to do that this time.
You're
One
like,
day.
let's practice some self-control real quick.
Yeah, for sure. I had to.
So amazing. Well, you mentioned being from Texas and you're originally from Corpus Christi, correct?
Mhm.
Is that where you were born and raised before you went to Nashville, or did you live anywhere else?
Yeah, I was born in San Antonio and then I was raised in Corpus. Yeah, my whole life. So my parents, they lived in Uvalde, Texas, and when after I was born, we were there for like in Uvalde for like 4 or 5 years. I think we moved when I was like 4 or 5. Yeah, my dad was like got a job and he was going to school also. And my mom was a teacher, so they were both just like working and had me super young. So putting the hard work in. Yeah. But I grew up in Corpus and then I moved to go to school at Belmont. And I've lived in Nashville for like 8 years, but I left in 2019. At the end of 2019, I moved to Australia for a brief stint. I lived in Melbourne. or Melbourne, as they say.
I learned that on the show, actually. I forgot what artist it was, but they were like, "Did you know it's Melbourne, not
Yeah.
Melbourne?" I'm like, "No way. That is so cool."
I know. I try to say it like when I'm around my host family, I say it right. Because I got corrected so much when I was there. But then when I'm here, if I say it right, my friends are like, "You're pretentious." And I'm like, okay, fine. You just can't win. You can't win.
And you said you're considering moving out to LA, right?
I am. I think I just really want to change. And like someone asked me yesterday, they're like, "Oh, for music?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Actually, no. Like for me, I just like really, really want to change." And I have made some really good like friends and connections out there and people I feel like I could really build a community with. So that obviously helps. But I guess if I didn't do music, it probably wouldn't be LA. But since I do, it's like, okay, well, LA makes the most sense. But I also love New York. I just feel like the music industry there is a little bit tougher to like tap into.
No, and it's so crazy. Both those two cities with both those two, I don't know why I just said that. That's like two
Love
double.
those two. I didn't even think about it.
But both of those coasts have very different music scenes, but the
Yeah, for
music scene is so big. And so I think the biggest, most important lesson in all of this, even just with having this conversation with you, is that doing things for you is how you get the biggest rewards in life, you know?
I know. Honestly, I really needed to hear that because sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I'm not like an artist who has put music first before everything for like my whole life. Like, I really put my life first and what I want to do. And then I like write about that, you know? So I don't know. I feel like sometimes maybe I'm not like sacrificial enough, but I don't want to have any regrets when I die. So I just like, the connection is the most important for me. And like that goes into just traveling and meeting people as well, not just like music. Like playing shows is my favorite because I feel like my biggest strength is that I can really connect with people. And that is special for me.
Well, and you said it so perfectly. It also ties into why your writing is so clear. It's very, in touch with your life experience. It's not based off of perception of what you see other people living. It's truly the grounds that you are walking on yourself. Would Madison have the chops to go and live out in her fucking car if she had to out in LA?
Oh my God, that's a hard question. I really want to say yes, but like I don't know. If I'm being really honest, which like I'm trying to be really honest. Like I don't know, but not because I don't think I could rough it. Like honestly, having a camper van is like one of my dreams and just like never speaking. Well, like never like being online again is like would be my dream. But I think it's more like I'm like a really, really anxious person and I don't really like trust people very easily, like with my safety. So I think it would be more like as a woman in Los Angeles, I would not feel safe living in my car. So probably not. But I'm thinking about doing like the trusted house sitter and just going out there and like watching someone's dogs for like a couple weeks just to give it another like, I don't know, another go before I like fully am like, okay, fuck it, I'm moving, you know?
Well, I'll tell you why your answer is so perfect. And this is just my opinion. Some are going to say it's probably biased because you're obviously on my show, but I will tell you this. For me, the reason why your answer is so perfect is because there's always has to be this part of you that is willing to risk everything for what it is that you either believe in, what it is that you want to pursue. I remember for me, specifically, whether it was choreography or if it was putting on this show, I remember always saying if it meant going homeless, if it meant going broke, I would still pursue it. That little bit of reservation that you're talking about, safety, the uncertainty of things, those are the scary feelings people don't usually like to face and even discuss. And
Yeah.
that's how I know that when you do take that scary leap of faith, it is going to work out for you. It's because you have this, yeah, I'm willing to do it. Don't know that it's the smartest or the safest.
Mhm.
However, that reservation, it's that pool people do not gravitate to. So,
Yeah.
Madison, I think you're going to be okay.
Thank you. I hope so. Yeah, I think it'll work out. I know it for me, it's like I was telling my little sister this the other day because she's in a really big like transition phase in her life. And I was just like, for me, it's like if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. And like there's no such thing as like no. Like I hate hearing no. Like that word does not exist for me. Like I'm just like, I don't want to hear that. I could hear like maybe not this year, maybe next year, but I'm not hearing like a no.
Hell yeah. Well, that's the way it should be, especially as an artist. And I feel like that is the one of the major keys to success in any industry that you dive into, especially if it's creatively, because hearing the word no should not be intimidating. Do you even
Yeah.
believe in what you're doing on your own? So when one door closes, sure, another one opens. But even though that's such a cliche, I do think it's such an important cliche to keep in mind
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you're the only one betting on you. So if someone says no, turn the cheek, move the fuck on, let's go,
Yeah,
keep going.
exactly. It's like, yeah, if someone tells me no, that's just like an industry person, it's like, okay, then I'm on to the next thing, you know? But yeah, I try, obviously, like, I do get my feelings hurt. Like, I take my 5 minutes to be upset, and then I'm just like, all right, whatever, that's not meant for me. That's fine. But it's a hard industry. I definitely have moments where I'm not so like bold.
And it's so funny because I do feel like having those moments, but still finding a way to still figure it out how to still show up for you the next day, the next morning, or whether it's a week, however long you take.
Yeah.
That's the beauty in all of this. That's what creates the chops to this industry is being able to take the fucking beat downs and then still be like, well, I still have a record to put out and promote, so let me still pick it back up. I mean, if
Yeah.
this is something even for me, not as a musician, but even with the podcast, I'll post a clip on social media and it'll get like 30 views, and the defeat is like,
Oh
oh my
yeah, you're like,
God.
so everyone hates me and they wish me dead. That's
Exactly.
exactly how it feels. You're like, cool. Yeah, I had like an agent I talked to like a week ago unfollowed me and like we had had a great conversation and I was literally like, what? Like what the fuck? And I was so upset. And then, yesterday the sun was out and I was like, it's a really pretty day and I'm just gonna get over it and it's fine. He'll regret it one day.
Yes. And I'm so proud of you for still having that resilience because I don't think a lot of people understand how difficult that is to constantly be turned down. And sometimes people don't even fucking reject you to your face. So it's worse because then
Yeah.
you're kind of like second guessing, well, what did I say? What did I do? What did I
Yeah,
post?
what did I post? Yeah. I know it's really hard. And it's like, it's hard to definitely, like, I think like I'm lucky that for the most part, I've done all my soul searching. Like, I know who I am. And that to me is like really important and I really protect it. So it's hard in this industry to take a lot of beat downs that feel personal and be like, this is not personal. This is just, whatever. This could be anything. And like, I have to like go within myself every day and be like, you have to get over it. You have to get over it because there's a new opportunity every day. And luckily, I think I'm putting enough like lines out that every time I feel like I can't recover from something, something else comes along and gives me a reason to keep going. And I feel like that's like a really big blessing, whatever.
Well, listen, if it makes you feel any better, okay? I've talked about this on the show a lot. I don't ever accept like submissions to have artists on. It's not really how I started the premise of the show, but I always say this. If an artist is ever pitched to me and they do get on my show, it's because I have already seen you reach the highest of the top that you probably can even imagine. I would much rather sit here talk to my fucking self before I get an artist on just to have an episode to put out on a Monday. Hell
Yeah,
no, we're not about that fucking life here, all right? So
not fun.
having you on to me means that I have already seen you at the toppest, at the highest, and
Topics.
toppest, highest, whatever. You're already there, in my opinion. That is where you are headed. I would never, ever invest my time and energy into an artist just for the sake of an episode. So you know what? Fuck that agent, all right?
Literally, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. That's why
Of
I like
course.
saw a quote a few years ago that was like, you have to make good music, but the people decide what's good. And I thought, like, that's sick because, like, it's not really about the industry. It's like the fans, the people, like, they decide what's good and like who is good. So that is always like really comforting to me.
Well, listen, you've got one fan right here, all right? And we are going
Love
to
it.
talk about tracks and some music here in a
Yay.
little bit. But I
Yes,
do want to go back and talk about your childhood just for a little bit, real quick. You've talked
totally.
about your parents listening to 90s pop alternative while you were riding in the back of the car. If Madison wrote a song inspired by these vivid car drives, where would you be going?
Wow, that's such a great question. Like, I don't know why, but the first like thing that came to mind was like Oregon, but that's so random. I think it's because when I was younger, my family and I went on a trip to Oregon because we have some family out there. And I just love nature. Like I'm a big granola girly, and I love that. And I love nature. And like my grandpa passed a couple years ago, and like we just had such a good trip. And I feel like so much of your childhood, when you look back, you don't remember. And you're like, I don't even know like what happened because your brain's developing and like it feels so fast. I don't know, it's weird. But that trip for me is like so prominent. And I think that like now looking back as an adult, like I got to escape the Texas heat and I was in nature and I felt like very like at peace. And my grandpa and I were just riding bikes around and we were like looking at the volcanoes and we were literally lost in the woods, but it was such a good trip. So I think like windows down, really good weather, sunny Oregon day. I don't know. That's like the first thing that came to mind.
That's beautiful. I mean, I can literally already see the visual. I can already kind of see it. I love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like make this a task for me now.
Absolutely. We've got to talk about that car ride, talk
Mhm.
about that entire road trip. And obviously, I'm a big fan of what you're writing. And so hearing how you would put it all together would be such a delight, in my opinion.
Yeah, super fun. I'm gonna have to do that.
Of course, if you could collaborate with an artist you remember listening to back in the day, which I know you said, 90s inspired pop alternative, who would it be?
Oh, it'd have to be like Alanis Morissette or Sheryl Crow. I just love them. I don't know. I think like sometimes you get really in your head about like, oh, I want to be the best at everything. And like coming into music, it's like you have to know that there's always going to be somebody better. And it's fine. It's humbling and it's like it's fine. And I feel like really lucky to be in a position where I feel like I'm at a point where I'm working with the people that are the best. So I'm constantly now intimidated, but you're not growing if you're like not with people that are amazing. But like I feel like Alanis Morissette and like Sheryl Crow have such unique voices that were kind of like just not on paper like perfect, beautiful, angelic. Like they're kind of got like some grit to them and I really like that. And the writing is so like I mean in the 90s, Alanis Morissette saying like I hope you think of me when she fucks you or whatever, like that is so crazy, but like I appreciate people being unhinged. I think it's iconic. I think it's amazing. And I think it makes everybody more comfortable to just be themselves and feel how they feel and say what they want to say. So I don't know, probably like, yeah, probably like maybe Alanis. And I saw her at ACL a couple of years ago. She was amazing. So
Oh, I'm so jealous. She is
yeah,
literally on my list to eventually go see live. I
she's
love her.
amazing. I also was on my flight to Austin that time. I was sitting next to her sound engineer. I think it was her sound guy, something like that. And he was like, she is so nice and like so wonderful. So yeah, you gotta see her and I want to come.
Yeah, look at all these little signs from the universe, though,
I
Madison.
know.
Hello.
Well, I know, I guess so. Yeah. And Sheryl Crow was on my flight one time to LA or leaving LA coming back. But yeah, it is wild. Wild.
Dude, and one day someone's going to be like, I was on that flight with Madison.
I can't wait for that day.
Hell yeah. Well, totally random because I'm a huge Alanis Morissette fan. I'm going to give you some homework. There is a song called Orchid by
Okay,
her. If you have not listened to it, it
I'll
is
listen.
so fucking
Okay.
genius.
Work it
Okay. There's a
down.
line in there, and I was trying to kind of find it while you were talking, like without looking at my phone, but there is
That's
this part in there, I believe it's in the chorus where she says, treated like a rose, not as an orchid or something in that nature. No
that's
one
so
quote
cool.
me for this, but it's so fucking deep because it's
Yeah.
like she's perceived as this thorny rose, but she's really this soft, gentle orchid.
Oh,
So
I
definitely,
love that.
definitely give it a listen.
I
Check it
will.
out. If you hate it, let's not talk about it. But if you
I
love it,
won't. There's like nothing she could do that would make me hate.
hell
And
yeah,
yeah,
same.
no, I will listen to it for sure.
Hell yeah. Who would your parents freak out the most if you were to collaborate with one of these like 90s icons who are still iconic today?
My parents, oh my God, that's really hard because I feel like my parents now, they're like true Texans and they're in their country era. You know what I mean? maybe like someone like an older like country person, or not older, but just like 90s country. I would love, but I would be so intimidated by Shania Twain. But I think they would be like, that's iconic, you know, or they would probably be really impressed by somebody like that. But I don't know. My parents are very supportive, and I think that no matter who it was, they would be really like excited for me. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Have you
I
seen
don't
what
know.
Shania Twain looks like these days?
She's fucking stunning. Like,
Yes.
she looks better than anybody my age, and I need to know what she's doing. I probably can't afford it, but she looks so good.
She does. I was just watching a clip with her with my partner. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And he was like, "Oh, is that Shania Twain?" I'm like, "No, I don't think that's her." And he's like, "No,
It
that's
is.
Shania Twain." I'm like,
No,
"What? That is
babe.
Shania Twain."
It's Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. I saw her at ACL that same year as Alanis, and she was iconic. Like, I was dancing around. I was really far back, but it was. She's. I think her songwriting is also like so good.
All these female geniuses. You're one of them,
I know.
Madison.
I know. I want to do a country album one day too. So like maybe I'll like pull from Shania's like records.
Hell yeah, I can't wait to listen to it.
It'll probably be down the line, but yeah.
Somewhere in the future, we'll save it for a rainy day. You know what I mean?
For sure.
In honor of an early memory you have of your dad burning your first CD for you, if you burned a CD for your dad, what two songs would be guaranteed to be on there?
Could it be any songs? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, any song.
Well, so I don't know why, but first song that came to mind was Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. I think that's by like Willie Nelson or something. But it was on the CD he burned for me when I was little. And it's one that I remember. And I think like more than anything with music, like I fell in love with songwriting first. Like I feel like it is the thing I'm best at too. And especially like just it's really sacred for me to write alone. Like this morning I wrote half a song on piano and I haven't written alone forever. And I just sat there and played it really quickly and wrote it. I was like, that was really nice. And I'm actually doing way less co-writes in May because I felt like I needed to like write by myself a bit more and I needed a break. But yeah, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain is such a beautiful song. I forget about it all the time, but when I think back to my dad burning my CD, that's one. And then I don't know, maybe like I was talking about this the other day that there's that song There Goes My Life by Kenny Chesney. My parents had me when they were like 18 and 19, and that song is about like a teenage couple like having a kid, and it's like There Goes My Life, and then it turns into the child like being their whole life. And I just like that song always reminds me of my parents, and I saw the songwriter who wrote it at a writer's round in Nashville probably like a year ago. And when they played it, like I don't really get too emotional. Like I know what's coming with songs, but it just made me really emotional. And so maybe that song, I guess. I don't
So
know.
sweet. Well, listen, we got to
Yeah.
bring back burning CDs back. Like vinyls are so hot these days. I'm like, when are we going to bring back burning CDs? Come
I
on.
know. We burned some for this tour. So I have a few online right now that I'm like, I made like special ones for tours. So once they're sold out, I probably won't make them like that again. I made like cute covers and stuff, but it was giving like mixtape.
Yes. So for anyone listening, go and check those out ASAP, all right? We obviously could not honor your dad and not your mom. So if the roles were reversed and you would have been a teacher and your mom would have been a musician, what would you be teaching and what music would your mom be making?
Oh, that's cool. My mom would definitely be making like rock music, like grungy, like rock music. And I say that because she just like loves like when I write something that's more up tempo, like her favorite songs of mine, when I put out Australia's Lonelier was the song Catherine. And it's about literally the girl my ex cheated on me with. Her name was Catherine. It's about like just burning all of his shit and like being like, I can never forgive you kind of vibes. And it's very like rocky and like drivey. And why are you at my door? What more could you possibly want? I gave you my heart and my mind, and you left it for Catherine. And then
Very rocky and drivey, I will say. Sorry to mean to interrupt you, but
yeah.
I fucking love that song.
I didn't know if you'd heard it. Oh my God. Thank you. She loves that one. It's like I think she really gets into like when I do like more rock alternative vibes. So she also loves Ava. And I think it's because of the chorus, like, I told you to stop looking. Like she's like, oh, I just love that. So I think she would do that for sure. I feel like she'd be like a little Gwen Stefani, like, but like with more rock, I guess, than pop. And then what would I teach? I think I would teach English probably just because that feels like the most appropriate thing I would teach. But I don't know, maybe I think I would love to be a professor and I took a poetry class when I was in college. If I were to be a teacher, I'd want to be a professor and I'd want to teach like poetry or something. I think that'd be so fun.
How cool. Well, if we ever get that Freaky Friday, Madison and Mom
Mom.
edition, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom would have killed it as a musician. She's literally the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life. Like, I have photos of her from the 90s and she could have been a model. Like, she would be so, like, shut up at me saying that. But I've posted pictures of my parents from the 90s before, and I've gotten more DMs from that than like anything I've ever done. Like, they're like, your parents are gorgeous. And I'm like, thank you. And I was the teenager that was like awkward and ugly, and all the boys were like, "Your mom's so hot." I was I was Stacy, and my mom is Stacy's
I
mom.
was just thinking of that song,
Yeah,
Stacy's mom, she's got
and
it
she does.
going on.
Yeah, that was my life.
Amazing. Well, it obviously sounds like, well, for me, I love to hear how you talk about your parents and your
Yeah,
siblings. You guys are all like such creative bunches, in my opinion, right? Like you said in a previous interview, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just freestyling here. You
yeah.
talked about your brother plays instruments too. You've got a sister who also does art or something. You guys are
Yeah.
creative, right?
Yeah. She paints. She's doing less painting now. She's like a fitness influencer these days. But I really want her to keep painting, and I think she will. I have some of her paintings downstairs in my house, and she's really talented. My youngest sister, she wants to be a nurse, but yeah, I think that like she'll get her own creative outlets as well as she gets older, probably. But it is a creative family for sure. My brother's doing like a screamo project right now, which is iconic.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Yeah, people ask me sometimes, they're like, "Are you gonna collab?" And I'm like, "Well, he is doing screamo music, so I don't know if at this point." But he also like he has this song on Spotify that no one knows about. It's called Somewhere Else by The Village. He's gonna be pissed that I said this, but he wrote it and put it out when he was like 15. And I think it's so good. Like it's a little off tempo, but like it's cool, and it's like he had really Elliott Smith vibes going. So I think he'll like always kind of bounce around that too. I think my brother's a phenomenal musician. So
Oh, I'm totally gonna clip a bit of that song on this episode, and
you
I'm gonna
could.
do it right here, right now.
Everything flows away into my life. It's too much. I can't stand it. The dreams are no more.
I live for these moments with artists when you're able to kind of just remember why you do everything that you're doing. And I do think that reminding the audience that having this connection, this solid foundation with your loved ones is so important because it's what keeps you grounded when shit gets messy in this industry. So I love to talk about these things on the show because if one day Madison's feeling defeated, like she's alone, no one understands her, she's flopping A, B, and C, and it's just not working out, she'll go back to this episode and hear me toot her horn. And then she'll be
Yeah.
reminded about how much she's loved by these, amazing siblings and mom and dad. There's inspo everywhere. Your life is your inspiration. So I love to talk about these things.
Me too. It's really fun, honestly. I love it as well. I'm very close with my family, so it's nice.
Well, and since we're talking about creativity, how heavily are you involved with the visualizers that you put on YouTube and stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty involved in everything. I am a control freak. I like to a point where I need to let go a little bit because I really, really care about my perception. I don't know. I want it to be honest, so I think I need to care about it a little bit less so that it's more raw. But, I hate like most people. I don't want to look ugly. I don't want to look disgusting, I don't want to sound bad. So I'm very like involved, but I think that like as I build out a team, like more of a team that I trust and like that understands me as a person and what I like and gets to know me like that, I think that I'll be able to let go a little bit more because I would like to like do less of the social media stuff, but I do like the visualizers. Like I really like I'm a Pinterest girl. I like all of that. So yeah, I just changed my Instagram like story thing so they finally look cute because I was like, this is so ugly. I look unprofessional. So I'm trying to like kind of slowly bring it all together. I just it's like I hate being on my phone, but I'm addicted to it. So it's that whole vibe.
Well, I feel like this is exactly what makes a great artist. You've got to do it yourself first to figure out what you don't want to do, what you do want to
Yeah.
do. And this is exactly how you do eventually build a good, solid team because you're able to know, and it's not even about just like not what you don't like to do, but also what you're not really good at. I think that's so important to figure out what you hate about it and what you can kind of let go of that control later on down the line, you know?
For sure, for sure. Yeah. I definitely want to like at some point have like someone I trust enough to just be like post whatever, help me clip this together. Let's post it. Cause the social media is just like I just don't want it to be top of mind all the time. But it's also a way to connect with people. So obviously it's a really useful tool. But yeah, I'm pretty involved.
I
But
love it.
like I want to get weirder like with my stuff, with my visualizers, with my clothes. Like I love fashion and I feel like I default to really like girl next door vibes and I like that, but I want to like at least like have little pops of just like being weird.
I live for it. I live for it so much. And I'm actually glad you brought up fashion in these visualizers because one of my favorites, which we'll talk about it a little bit later, was just something about that blue dress. You're going to know which one I'm talking about for sure.
And Ava?
Yes.
Yeah, the little like denim dress.
Yes, I was so in awe with that. And then, of course, me journaling being goofy, I was just like, I wonder if anyone's asked Madison, was that a blue dress or a gold dress? Do you get the
Oh my
reference?
God, that's so funny. Yeah, no one's asked me except for you now.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, it was blue. And yeah, I found it like right before that. I was just trying to get like really earthy vibes for that whole thing. And the song, there's a few references to like blue things, like blue eyes, blue room. So I wanted just like hints of blue and everything. So yeah.
I told you to stop looking at me like that. I told you if you bit, then I would bite back. I told you all the rumors in your bedroom. I told you no one would ever love you. Not like I do. Not like I do.
Well, you killed it with that one. It was one of my favorites for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, my friend Orchi did that. She's amazing photographer. She also did my Sick in the Summer cover.
Did she do your photographs with you like on the chair as well? Totally random?
Yes, she did.
Oh, I love it. Shout out to her for
No,
sure.
she's awesome. Like she just did a whole shoot for me and I have a bunch of photos I need to post. I just like I'm not currently releasing anything. So I feel weird posting randomly, but if I don't post them now, I won't post them at all. So I'm gonna have to just like post them for fun because they're iconic. Like we went out to a liquor store and it was by the airport. So we were getting the planes flying in behind the sign and they're so cool. So I just need to post them. This is reminding me.
Yes, and if you don't do it from now until this episode airs, this will be your reminder. Hear me out,
Yes.
Madison. Post the photos.
Yes. You've got it.
Amazing. Well, before we talk your latest song, I want to revisit some other tracks real quick, and I couldn't start with any other than 24 because there were a couple of lines on there that truly fucked me up, Madison, all right?
Pause the clock. I wanna stop time on the dime. Pull the lever on the bus to get off. I wanna be young for life, for life.
with lines like, I talk to God like I'm a believer, and when I sing, it helps me rest, I took this as that spiritual feeling both have in common, if that makes any sense. What's your take on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that song was like, artists talk about this feeling that you get when you write a song that you feel is really, really good and it's like you black out. And I feel like that song felt like that. But when I wrote those lines, like I talk to God like I'm a believer, I'm a sinner at best. I think like, I don't know, I'm from the South, like I want to believe in something, but like as just a person who like thinks about things and like also believes in science, you are like constantly doubting the presence of, I don't know, God. But my brain is kind of like, it doesn't hurt to talk to God, like even if this is all just some fluke, like what does it hurt to like put out some good intentions and ask for forgiveness for being a shitty person sometimes? Like I think that's fine. So yeah, when I wrote those two lines, it was kind of just me like inhaling and exhaling and being like, I'm really trying to be a good person and I'm really scared that's going to be for nothing, or that this like life is just like really fleeting and this is all there is. But like when I sing, I feel so at peace, and that is like what helps me get through it. Like that is my coping and my therapy, and that's just like how I survive this little life. So, but yeah, I like nature and stuff too, but that was what I was trying to get out there. So yeah, they're both very like existential lines.
Yeah, I thought they were so genius because, to me, I took it as, wow, like this is that spiritual awakening, that feeling, that relief, that spiritual relief you feel. It's no different than the people that go to church and they pray, they
Yeah,
let it out. They're doing it with good intention. Not all of them, but there are people that
yeah,
do, you know what I mean? There's good and
definitely.
bad in everything. And I thought
Definitely.
that was so genius. I'm like, oh my gosh, what she's doing, her writing, the music, taking a chance on herself, putting out music, all of these things that make her an artist is that religious relief. It's that
Yeah.
spiritual relief, you know?
Yeah, it's like gives you permission to not even worry about it and trust that like we're here whether we want to be or not. And so that tells me that I'm supposed to be here. Like I always used to say like, especially just awkwardly figuring out your style and your looks, and like I had horrible teeth. I still am insecure about my teeth, but like I think I always felt really beautiful when I was writing and singing. I really felt like a pretty person, and that's such a weird thing to say, but it just is like the one thing that makes me feel confident and like good about myself. So
No, thank you so much for sharing that, dude, because I feel like that is so beautiful. Like, I feel like this is such a good reminder for anyone that it's what feels good will project in your craft. It'll project in everything that you do. So that feel good feeling is so important to hold on to. So I love that message so much.
thank you.
Which, by the way, I journaled past the clock part in 24 gave me fucking chills. The way you break your voice in that, I was just like, whew, like it
Yeah.
really, it got me good. It got me good.
Oh, thank you. I do love that song.
Well, and talking about feeling pretty when you're writing, I feel like that also comes with a sense of feeling so brave and bold. And this is one of the reasons why I loved Could We Still Have Sex? And I wanted to ask you about this song. Was there a
Yeah.
part of you that felt pretty hesitant at some point to one, put out a song like this, but also a title like that?
There's rain and there is shine, and forever is a fucking long time. There's touch and there's taste. There's going all the way, and I know that we can't be friends, but could we still have sex with you? Is the best with you? Don't want no one new, no one else would do. 'Cause sex with you is the best with you. Don't want no one new, no one else but you.
I think the only hesitation was just like, I really don't want to let my parents down, like I really don't want to disappoint them or embarrass them. And I think the only hesitation is like, I know that they're pretty involved in their communities, and I just didn't want to like represent them badly. But I also was at a point where, like, last year when I wrote it and when I was like, I'm going to put it out, I hit the point of like, I will do fucking anything to like honor my art and like who I am. And like it is time to like stop being so afraid to say certain things. And I think my parents, like something I think that they love about me is that I will literally like say whatever I want. And they think I'm like really hilarious with that. My mom's always cracking up. So it's like the whole, like if you want to love part of me, it's like this is part of me too. And they I think have come around. When I first played it for them, it was like, ooh, this is really something you're gonna put out. So I was a little hesitant, but mainly just to show them I was always gonna put it out, whether they liked it or not. I'm a fucking adult. Like
Hell
it's
yeah.
fine. But yeah, definitely a little bit. And like my brother too is interesting when I played it for my brother. I feel like he's been hurt, by people in his life too. And he took it so much differently than I like intended to write it. Like he was like, well, that's kind of like triggering. Like you just want this like physical aspect of somebody. But I wrote it being like, oh, this person just like dumped me. And I was like giving them so much of me and like so much intimacy that now I'm gonna have to like take back for myself. And I don't want to like fully like be alone anymore. So I want to be one foot in, one foot out. And I'm at an age and an anxiety level where I couldn't actually do that because I'm past that. I like don't want to deal with that. I'd rather be heartbroken and at peace than anxious and like dating somebody. So I just wrote the song about it instead of actually doing it, which I think is healthy. And I love the song. I think it's fun.
I am obsessed with that song. I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad. And people like I've just fully leaned in. Like I make everyone at every show sing it with me. Like I make them sing the sex with you. And it does get some laughs. And I'm like, if people don't like it, they at least won't forget it. Whatever.
Hell yeah. Well, and that's what I loved about it too, because I was listening to it. First of all, the title alone is just captivating on its own. It's bold. It's got the word sex in it, right? Like, I know for me, I'm like, I gravitated to that because I like boldness, right? But
Yeah.
I did feel like there was a sense of security and confidence, and it came with sex appeal without having it to be so grotesque. Like, it
Yeah,
was
it wasn't
so
vulgar.
no, and that's what I loved about it. I love that
Yeah.
it was done so tastefully, but I love that it's a very empowering track because it's like, listen, as an artist, if you can't talk about things that would eventually make someone feel uncomfortable, are you
Yeah.
even writing with substance? And so I
Yeah.
love that about it.
Yeah, and it was like a playful track, And I think like because of its like playfulness, it was reflective. It is reflective of me. And so just like who I am and like being silly. So I think before that I'd kind of only put out really serious heartbreak songs. And it was just kind of like a turning point for me last year where I was like, I want to put out fun stuff too. That's like doesn't have to be so serious.
Well, and like you said, you feel the prettiest when you're singing and writing. And
Yeah.
what feeling comes with that? Well, you feel confident, you feel good in your skin. So
Yeah.
I love it. Mark my words, down the line, that song is going to be one of those songs people are going to go back to and be like, ah, that boldness, that sexiness has always been there. Mark my words, okay?
Okay, I'm marking them. I hope you're right. I feel like, I mean, you can always do more, but I always am like, oh, I'm letting my songs down by like not heavily like still promoting them. And you just as an artist, you like move on so quickly to where you're like, well, now I've written fucking probably hundreds of songs since then, and I want those to see the light of day, and I need money. But I still love this. Every song I put out, I like love very dearly. Like it's not light for me to like spend that much money on releasing something. So yeah, I hope that they are revisited.
They will. They will. And listen, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'll be that fucking psycho that's like, have you guys heard this song?
Thank God. Thank God. You guys aren't even
Amazing.
real fans.
Exactly. Like, do you even know who this Madison is? Let's go. Your latest Cold Feet, is there a meaning or significance behind the title track being in all caps?
Oh my God. Yeah. So I kind of went back and forth on that. Like I almost did it all lowercase. I kind of just like feel like it fit the vibe of the song and I wanted it to stand out against like the others. And I think like, I don't know, we live in such a generation now where it's like, you don't want to look like you care. Like it's not cool to care. So it's like, even my fucking siblings are texting me in all lowercase, like not proper sentences. And I'm just like, why? You know what I mean? Like if you say hey with like a lowercase h, it just like means something different where it's like I'm chill and I don't care and I'm cool. And so I guess like cold feet is literally me being like, I am so fucking scared of like connection. Like it's like wanting it so, so badly and feeling so unworthy of it and feeling so scared.
Summer came and went, and here we go again. Going through the motions, losing all my hope and loving all the angels. Leave me there to dangle. I'd believe in heaven if I knew you were waiting at the gate. But it's too late. I lost my faith. Now it's too late.
I guess I just like, yeah, wanted to boldly proclaim that. And like having cold feet, it's literally like you're scared, you run away. So maybe like putting it in all caps is me being like, I'm saying this with my chest.
Dude, I am like so covered in goosebumps right now because I was a little bit hesitant myself to even ask you this because I thought literally I was journaling about it and I'm like, I think I'm overthinking it. Why am I overthinking this? Your answer is so, it's probably one of the best answers I've ever had on the show. I
My
never
God.
would have thought about the significance in how, for example, my brother who's 19, how he does text a lot differently than my siblings who
Yeah.
are, older than me. So I'm
True.
like, oh my gosh, like that was a big perspective for me right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it was like subconscious, you know, but like I think like when we changed it in my distribution system, like it was all lowercase. And I like at the last minute changed it because I think I just was like, I don't want to be like chill about this. Like this is like very much exactly how I felt the day we wrote it. It's like the vocals are the demo vocals. We didn't re-record them. Like it is just super raw. And I just didn't want to like understate it. So yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because it made me really like think about it. Like I didn't even know fully like why I did that.
Well,
But
you articulated it so well. I am like, holy fuck, that was amazing. I want to ask you real quick because now I'm just totally curious in regards to your brother. What's
yeah.
the age difference there?
Yeah, my brother is 23. So it's 4 years and like 6 months or something, 8 months, something like that. Almost 5 years. But yeah, we're pretty close though.
And was that your brother who, interpreted that other song? I'm blanking out right now, but we were just talking
Before
about it.
sex. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Was that
Yeah.
him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was him. I only have one brother and then I have two sisters. So yeah. But
Gotcha.
I do like I send him stuff and he definitely likes like stuff that I like don't end up putting out a lot, but he's awesome and I love him and he's very like maybe to a fault, but he's very like himself and like fuck the industry, just do what you want. Like he's like, you don't have to be on Instagram. If you don't want to be, fuck it. Don't be on Instagram. But I'm like, Derek, I have to be like like that's what everyone I ever meet with in the industry tells me. And he's like, no, like you don't need to do that, whatever. So, but his confidence is impressive.
No, it's so refreshing to hear because I was literally, the reason I was blanking out is because I was being taken back by the power of open interpretation in music, And
Yeah.
now that I'm also hearing your answer in regards to the boldness of all caps in a title, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that also is open for interpretation. So I was having this like, that fucking meme with all like the math problems everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
You're in the
so
map. Yeah.
exactly. I love
No,
it.
I'm glad you asked. That was a good question.
That was a good answer. I love it. Well, inspired by the title, Jukebox Alarm Clock, we're going to do your outro in a very different way. I'm super excited to kind of wrap up the episode this way because I am going to put you on the spot. And we're
Okay.
recording, girl, so I want to see how you do with this, okay?
Okay, I'm scared.
So, and I have to share a little bit of the backstory on how I came up with this idea. While I was writing some of your title tracks without even listening to it, I wrote Jukebox Alarm Clock is such a badass title, is what I journaled. But then immediately I thought in my head, and I hate that I'm even going to do this because I'm also recording here.
Okay.
So I literally, for some reason, was just journaling, and immediately I had this moment where I was like, wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm literally just rocking with this idea, okay?
Okay.
So I want you and I to do this outro, but I want us to be like a jukebox alarm clock, okay? So if
Okay.
this outro were to wake people up, how would
Mm,
we want it to wake up? So I'll go first to kind of give you an example and just
yeah.
kind of match it, interpret it however you want, okay? Because
Okay.
it makes no fucking
Okay.
sense to me either, okay?
I'm nervous. Here we go.
Okay, and I'll go first just to kind of set the tone, but I wrote this. This is so embarrassing. I always do this. I embarrass myself on the show, but it's all good. We'll get to
I'm
the
gonna
views.
embarrass myself right after you.
Amazing. So this would be my wake up voice. Wake up, bitch. It's time to listen to your new favorite artist. That's my
Wait, that's literally exactly how I would want to be woken up, though. Okay, so I
amazing.
can say it. It doesn't have to be sung.
No, you can say whatever you want, but if let's say this were to be someone's alarm clock, what would it sound like?
Yeah, I think this would be similar to yours. It would be like, get the fuck up. You're wasting time. Like the day has begun. And if you don't get up now, you're gonna miss the morning and you need to get up. I think it'd be very militarian, like, is that a word?
It is now.
Wake up, bitch. Like I like agree with yours. Like, wake the fuck up. Mine though is like lately I feel like I've been sleeping in a little too late and I need that. I need like get the fuck up. Like you are burning daylight. So that's my final answer. Wake the fuck up, you're burning daylight.
Militarian, wake the fuck up. I love it.
Yeah. Like, get busy. There's this like Bob Dylan quote and it's like get busy living or get busy dying,
Hell yeah.
And that's how I feel.
Amazing. Well, if these ever get, taken out and used for alarm clocks, here we go. We're gonna do alarm clock merch, okay?
Copyright.
Exactly. Amazing. You have been such a delight. Thank you
Oh,
so much for your time, Madison. Like, I
my
cannot
God.
wait to see what else is in store for you. I can't wait to follow the trajectory of your craft. And please, lastly, tell everyone where they can find you, where they can stream your music.
Yes, my name is Madison Steinbruck. So that is my name on all socials. And they can stream my music on Spotify, Apple Music, any of the platforms. I'm on all of them. So Amazon, all of that. Yeah, and buy some merch.
Wake the fuck up and buy some merch.
Yeah, get the fuck up and buy my merch. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you
Madison,
so much for
thanks.
having me. You're the best. I had so much
No, you're the best. I had so
fun.
much fun with you as well.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, hopefully we talk soon.
We will. We'll definitely be in touch, I promise.
Okay, cool. I'll see you when I'm in Austin too. I'll come visit.
Yes.
Sounds
But you
good.
know what? Don't fly out to Austin unless you're sitting next to a Lannister Sheryl Crow, and then we can all go together,
Kiki.
okay?
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Amazing. Great chatting with you.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.